Robert Fritz's Structural Consulting channel. What this is. We present full structural consultations, ones that change people's lives. The idea behind this channel is for you to witness a completely different understanding of the human condition. Here are a few things to know. Structural consulting is not therapy. It is an exploration of the underlying structures in the client's life that produces predictable patterns of behavior. What is structure? Structure is a combination of elements that impact each other. In these sessions, the client's structures are a combination of what they want to create, how reality actually is, and the various concepts that they have. The concepts clients have are usually hidden from them, but these concepts have impact in influencing the client's life patterns. A change of structure will cause a change of the client's patterns. The principle. The underlying structure of anything will determine its behavior. The process involves seeing the actual patterns in the client's life, which leads to a better understanding of the client's underlying structure. The sessions last between 1 or 2 hours. We suggest that if you do decide to watch them, do so when you have time to see the entire process. If you want to see more structure consultations, subscribe to the channel. And here is the session.
And what would you like to talk about?
I guess just want to understand a little bit more of my life's patterns, how they impact me. I think I've probably had some real highs and lows, just to get a better understanding of those.
Okay, can you think of another story other than the one that you sent me, where you set out for something, you had it for a period of time. At the end of the story, you no longer had it. There was some reversal that happened, and that it's typical.
Yeah, I think.
Don't tell me the story.
Sure. Don't tell you the story. Okay.
No.
I'll just think about it.
So you had a desire?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a desire.
And you applied?
Yeah.
And it went well?
Yeah.
And you got it?
Yeah.
And you had good results at first?
Yeah.
But then something went wrong?
That's right.
You did the best you could?
Mm-hmm.
But then it got even more complicated.
Yeah.
You tried to fix it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and then things got worse. Did things get worse then after that?
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Okay. And then you were out.
And deep in thought, yes.
Okay. All right. So can you think of another story, different story?
Yeah, that's actually, I'm trying to think in this recent story you'd like. Is that correct?
Doesn't have to be that recent. Just has to be typical.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You had a desire.
Yes.
You applied.
Yeah.
Things went well. You got it.
Yeah.
You had good results.
Yeah.
Something went wrong. Just say yes or no, please.
Yes.
You did the best you could.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
And then there were some complications.
Yeah.
And you tried to fix it.
Yeah.
And things got even worse.
Yeah.
And then you were out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have your oscillating pattern.
Okay.
Let me show it to you. So you have a desire, you apply, things go well, you got it. and you have great results.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like the part of the oscillation where you're really going for what you want.
Yeah.
And then it goes in the opposite direction from there on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something goes wrong and you did the best you could, and complications, and tried to fix it, and things got worse and out.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about this step here.
Mm-hmm.
Things go wrong.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if there's a particular way they go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I know it went wrong in the first story. What went wrong in the second story?
I think what went wrong, it felt very much out of my control. So what went wrong is other people's impacted the decision. People who didn't like me for whatever reason, or it felt like personal. And so they were able to influence the decision, and what was on a really good track then went completely sideways.
Mm-hmm. After you're getting good results.
Yes, after having good results, and it being like a sure thing, you know.
Yeah, okay. What about in the third story that we just did?
That one, it was not necessarily, it was that was a more of like a relationship, and in that case it just went wrong all of a sudden. Like it just what seemed really good, and then it was like a 180 from the other person's part, and I couldn't really understand why.
Well, all of that step has this characteristic of you have these great results. Things are going really well, and then bam. So, you know, in most of the stories, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're not expecting this thing to go wrong.
That's absolutely the case.
And no one would, given the good results you're getting. Things are going really well.
Yeah.
And you know my two rubber band thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it's like you've got two rubber bands and two tension resolution systems. And let's say this is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And this is your concepts. We don't know what they are yet.
Mm-hmm.
But to see what the structure looks like when you're here, and this rubber band has the highest tension resolution system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like the good success. You wouldn't expect it if it were just simply event causing event causing event.
Yes.
But this is the underlying structure that's giving rise to this particular weird sudden reversal, 180. Yeah. And it really looks like that in the structure, you know, that you're here. And the major tension resolution system is here.
Right. That's pulling me out. Yeah.
So what do you make of that? What do you tell yourself when those things happen?
What I tell myself is that I can't trust people. I can't trust life. That it creates a lot of anxiety, because I feel like something will always go wrong. When things are going well, something will go wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to feel good when things are going right, because it's almost like waiting for that.
You're waiting for the other shoe to fall, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So because I've it's happened enough times where it's like, oh, hang on, this feels too good. What's going to go wrong? And then even with that expectation, it's still unexpected, because it's not something I can predict. So it still surprises me.
Because it's not event driven. It's not a logical next step in the events.
No. Yeah. That's right.
So can you trust people or not?
I have a hard time doing so.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, I try, but I think deep down there's it's just like been a buildup, you know, of things. And so I think deep down,
in your life, it doesn't always go that way, because you have another pattern in which you set out for things and you accomplish them, and that then becomes the platform for other things. But the pattern that we're talking about, Why do you have this notion? You must have it from the beginning.
Mhm.
What is the notion that you have besides that you can't trust people?
So a notion other than that I can't trust people. I think that there's probably something about that if it's too like I don't deserve the success or that
Good to be
it
true, and you don't deserve it.
yeah, and it's also something like there's a sense of because when things are going well and I feel like very in my power as a person and
Mm.
it's almost like oh wait hang on it's a combination I don't deserve it and I can't really feel it's almost like it's look here I am creating my destiny it's all going well people are it's all and then it just feels like yeah that I something that some things will go wrong. I think that fundamentally it feels like things will go wrong for me. Even the best things will go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't have a trouble-free existence.
Why not? In other words, what's with you that you can't?
Yeah, why is that? And I think
What I'd like you to do is to really think it through, Don't try
sure.
to necessarily give me a quick answer. Rather, give me an answer where you really considered the question and not theoretically or not speculatively, but see if you can even remember what the thought you were having when you get into it or when it's going particularly well, besides the one that you know it's going to crash and burn.
Right.
In a way, you're doing two things. One is you've got pattern recognition of you can smell a rat when it's really going well.
Yeah.
The other is the underlying cause of it.
So I think it's something that's been since I was very, very young. In terms of my childhood, it was very difficult in many ways, and a lot of things went wrong. I guess is the best way to put it. And it was a lot of people that that didn't do what they were supposed to do in many ways, and so it just feels like it's like part and parcel of who I am. That I have to fight for everything. That I have to really like put everything in. Even then, that's no guarantee that things will go smoothly. It's just like it's like a real.
There's something you feel you need to overcome in order to
Yeah.
do the simplest things in a way.
Yeah, that there's always some struggle, battle, hill to climb. Yeah,
And
it doesn't.
you said it feels personal.
Yes, it does often.
I mean, it could be about you, or it could be about them.
Yeah.
But I think the way you're describing it, it feels more like you think it's about you.
Yes.
And they're more of an outcome of you versus you're fine and it's really them.
Yeah, I do take it that it's some deficit of me, or that people see the real me, or that oh look, clearly I'm not likable, lovable. It's just proving how I've felt when I was a child.
How do you think you're supposed to be?
You mean as a person, like generally speaking?
Yeah, I mean, what do you tell yourself you're supposed to be like?
So I think part of me has stopped caring. I'm just trying to live a decent life and be a good person, meaning like I try to help people where I can. It's like I've and a lot of the like I used to have a lot of like a shield, like a real strong like protective shield all around me, like so a lot of that is over the years has come off. So I kind of just try to like not care anymore, and I really it does made my life a lot easier. But it's then when like important stuff, when it's kind of just gets thrown back in my face a little bit. So in terms of how I'm supposed to be, I just try to like just live a decent life and be a decent person. I'm not trying to be someone else anymore,
Mm.
liked. I also like, there's one thing I've stopped wanting to be liked because it's too hard. Like it's just an impossible, ideal.
Right, I see. This is sort of like your compensating strategy. Since they're going to be that way anyway, and they won't like you anyway, you might as well not look for them to like you because
Yeah.
they won't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
probably,
and so just sort of stay out of trouble.
yeah. Don't have the expectation that people will like you
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you get disappointed.
Why do you think they wouldn't like you if you were just yourself?
I just feel, yeah, I just feel like there's been so many, again, it goes back to, there's just been so many like incidences, like just, it's like, feels like a big, like a pile of them that I feel like this, it surely,
Well, name one. I mean, just
yeah, I just like, I mean, I'll start with like, when I was growing up,
mm,
I'm, my skin is much darker than the rest of my family and even the community that I was sort of raised in, and I was the outcast, literally the black sheep.
mhm,
And so I think a lot of people didn't like me just on that basis, right?
mhm.
Sure, it was ignorant, whatever, but it still, I think,
It had its impact.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So that would, I mean, those are many incidents, but like it's just an accumulation, I think, of those. And then, like I remember at work, at a job, there's this guy who just did not like me, and I could not figure out why. Like as though I'd done something. It was like it was very high schoolish. Like, it was like I'd had a disagreement with someone else, and I guess they were friends, and it just he went from being very nice, friendly, collegial to being, just the complete opposite, made my life miserable.
Yeah.
And tried to, it was,
And what did you think, um, besides him being a jerk, what did you think that you had done, given that you didn't know what you had done?
that was, I think that was the frustrating part, is like, is there something that I'm putting out, setting off, even though on one hand, one part of my brain was like, clearly like, this guy is just, he has his own issues, this is not to do with me, but
Mhm,
because it was so concerted um
mhm.
and it had such an impact on me, I couldn't help personally think that it was, what makes me so like that they can treat me like this, it
Yeah.
was, what is it about me?
Your idea was you don't know what it is, but you must be doing something to piss
Yeah,
people off.
yeah, because I'm trying to like there must be something about me, the way I look, the way there must be something that,
What did you, when you were a kid, and you figured out that it was skin that was, um, that made you an outcast somehow? What did you conclude from that?
I'm a lesser person, right? I'm not as valuable as these people. I'm not good enough.
Yeah. Because your skin was darker?
Yeah. And the way they,
Was it, well, I'm, what I want to sort out is was it because your skin was darker, or because your skin was darker and they were prejudiced? It's called colorism, by the way.
yeah.
People have prejudice about shades of color. Um, did it evoke some other thought you had that just reinforced that insecurity or that, thought about yourself?
Let me see if I understand the question. So yeah, I
By the
think,
way, it could have been just the color, the colorism kind of thing that did it, but it could be something other than that as well.
so I think
And
it was,
because the color thing is so clear and evocative, you can really miss if it happens to be something else.
I think it was a combination. So definitely the colorism. There was also the abuse. And then it was, so because otherwise I was actually a very confident,
Yes.
kid. I did well in school, the teachers liked me, that kind of thing. But it was like, there was like the other part of my life where it was like, one part was I did really well, sports, school, everything great. Then the other part where all of this stuff resided, the colorism abuse. And so it kind of, it kind of shades over the positive components.
Well, I mean, as you said, you thought you weren't enough. What does that even mean, that you weren't enough?
I mean, I guess that it was almost like, it's like a worth thing, like that. This was like, childhood thing, but like that somehow I'm lesser value.
Well, and the other part of that would be that you had to compensate for not being enough or for being worthless by having worth.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that was where the school really helped me a lot.
Because it gave you a synthetic criteria of being worthwhile, to upset your actual belief that you weren't.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I could thrive. And so, and I think it did motivate me, because the more I did well in school, had lots of friends and teachers like me, whatnot. It was like, it was almost like, well, hey, look, I'm doing so well here. How can you think that on the other hand?
Do you actually still think that your worth is created by your level of accomplishment?
I think until very recently, I did. Probably the last year and a half, I've finally.
What made you change?
It was actually, I had 2 head injuries, quite like traumatic head injuries, which I had to sort of stop everything. It was an opportunity for reflection.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wow, like this is not really like career achievement. All of this, like, it really was like, it hit me in the face. All of this stuff like that I've been trying to prove, getting, running up corporate ladders and doing this and doing just doing all of that. And it really, finally, it was almost like a forced opportunity. It was to be like, wow, like this is not it. So until about a year and a half, I think it was very ingrained in me, even though I may not admit it, but I could see it was driving me. Whereas now I've really taken a step back from all of that.
Well, it's the function of the success. The interesting thing for you is you have real aspiration and you're very good at your jobs. So you're capable and probably talented. And that's real. That's not to compensate for anything. But even while that's real, simultaneously, you have this idea that you have to compensate for it. So what were the head injuries? What happened?
One was, I was bathing my daughter in the shower. There was a metal bar. That had a lot of neurological effects. And then that was like in October 2020. And then in August 2021, a pot fell from a ledge onto my head. My daughter had pulled a vine that was touched the pot, and that one was actually much more traumatic because it felt like I've been hit by a baseball bat. And so that had more neck issues, which
did you end up with a concussion or something?
Yeah, both times.
Yeah. How it usually goes is the second hit is complicated by the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's accumulative in that sense.
This is exactly was the case that I had. Yeah.
How long were you in your reflective mode, and were forced to be in?
I think I've been in my reflective mode since the probably October 2020. Really, like I had to take time off, really an extended period of work, and I started getting back in touch with other parts of my interests, passions that I had, because I couldn't do much on computers and stuff, because I had a lot of like visual issues and migraines, but things like Reiki, just things that I, interested in,
Yeah.
just had not had the capacity, time, whatever to focus on.
Yeah. So it sounds like a real change, not a complete change, but a major change in relationship to the compensating strategy of accomplishment designed to make up for your worthlessness or you're not enough.
Yeah. I didn't have to focus on that, and it was
right.
And even
Are you still worthless and not enough?
It's funny because I don't feel that from a, let's say, a professional sense.
You don't feel that from when you're in reality.
Yeah, it's but it sneaks up on me still. I think it's not been erased or anything. It's just, it's not
Well,
as,
it's not been erased because it's what you think.
yeah.
And sometimes you're in the structure where that matters, and sometimes you're in a different structure where it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
When you were reflecting, is you saw that some of the symbols of success that were designed to compensate for your belief about yourself were irrelevant.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that it was no longer in that structure at that moment. But it didn't, you haven't really completely, it's not that you're going to change your belief about yourself. It's that you have not become fluent in it.
Right.
Enough to understand it's just something you happen to think, independent of your accomplishments.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like wearing a new skin or outfit still. It's still getting used to that, the sensation.
Can you say, do you think it's more worthless or not enough, or what do you think it is? If you had to more
not
define.
Yeah, it's something about, there's something I have thought about this. I think there's something like there's a gap, like I'm not good enough. Like there's some thing that if I could just get to that point, then I'd finally be on even keel with the rest of humanity. And that's why I try so hard to, do well, be well, whatever. And
right.
so, yeah, it's like, because I think at my core, I don't think I'm a worthless human being, really deep, but sometimes I do feel more that I'm not
Less than, you just said it.
Yeah.
You're not as good as other people.
Yeah. But other people have something that I don't, that life is easier for them than me, that kind of.
What do they have that you don't, that makes their life easier?
Like somehow, like I asked this question, like, how is it? It feels easy. Like, for instance, when I was at university, even though I had gotten really good marks to get into university, scholarships, whatnot, I really struggled in my first few years at university. It was just like the constant pressure, and some people just made it seem so easy. And I remember thinking, how does it look so easy for them? I remember it was really, and I thought, oh, it must be because they maybe had slightly easier like upbringings. I don't know. I was just trying to figure out, like, what is it that makes their life easier? And I understand that, like, people look at my life and ask the same question. I am very fortunate in many ways. So I understand people are probably the same. So it's a bit of a endless loop, because I know it's fruitless, right, to be asking this question.
Well, it may be fruitless, but in your concept, you create a standard of measurement,
right,
which is others, and then you don't measure up.
Yeah. It's like, sometimes I think people just, they had like, it's like almost like they were able to have, like, especially when I look at sometimes men, they have this confidence, this ability to, I don't know, like, I'm just like, wow, like, they don't seem to be just outwardly confident. It's almost like they're inwardly confident, a lot of them. Like, and I was like, is that like how you were raised in our society? There's a lot of things like I don't have the answer. Like, what is it about other
Why,
people?
why would you want to be like them?
I just want some of the good traits. I don't want the whole, everything else. But
You take the good stuff and not the bad stuff.
like my husband, he's so like calm and confident, and he doesn't have all
That,
this anxiety that I do.
that's the kind of person he is.
Yeah, yeah. And I just like, wow, like it's great.
So is he a better person than you are then?
I guess, I guess we all have, it's true, like we all have our,
Look, don't rationalize it away.
no, he's not. No, it's to answer your question, no, he's not. It's
Okay, but somehow you think he is by the way you set it up.
yeah, probably, yeah, like very
Yeah.
implicitly. Yeah.
I know you used to think this. Do you still think you're a better person if you're a success and not as good if you're not a success?
I guess so. It depends what success is now. And this is probably where I'm at now, because I don't think it has to be
It's a
success.
very straightforward question. And success means you've accomplished what you want, and failure means you didn't. So
I guess, yeah, like, and it did, yeah, and that,
why would you be a better person if you succeeded then failed?
that's it's because you've been able to overcome whatever the barriers, the ego,
Why does
whatever.
that make you a better person?
It's true, it doesn't make you a better person, probably make you a more fulfilled person, but I don't know. I guess it deep
Try
down.
not to change the subject. You're kind of
Yeah.
changing the subject too.
Okay,
Oh, well, they'd
sorry.
be happier. Oh, you sort of like describe the consequences versus the meaning of, some people are more talented than others. Some people are luckier than others.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's part of me, yes,
You're a
very much
better
so.
person if you're luckier.
No, not if you're luckier.
Are you a better person if you're more talented?
No, don't think so.
What would make you a better person? More capable, more confident, more all the
Yeah.
stuff you just said.
Yeah.
Why does it make you? How come that makes you a better person?
I don't know actually. Your question
Would
is
you
a
would
valid
you
one.
say that to your child too? You have a daughter,
No,
right?
no, that's true. I wouldn't.
But you would say it to yourself though.
Yeah,
So
double
what's with
standard.
you and not her?
Yeah, it's true. It's a good point. Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's like, okay, everybody else has a different standard, but my own little personal standard has to be this.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's I think I have this idea that I don't want to die and not have, it's not necessarily like ticking off boxes in terms of like professional, it's just more like I want to be able to live the life that I'm happy about or okay with. And if I don't do that, then I'm, yes, a lesser person.
Why does it matter?
I just feel like we're here, to there's certain things like we're here for to accomplish. And that's a concept sorry?
We are.
Yeah.
So what is your daughter's job to accomplish?
I don't know yet. She's so young, but
But she's gonna have one, huh?
yeah, I know
You're gonna make sure she has one.
well, I think it's this, I guess
No,
it's
but think about that for a second. Let's say she's now a teenager or in her 20s.
yeah.
Would you hope that she's trying to fulfill a mission or complete a purpose
I think
or would it be okay with you if she just kind of lived her life?
it would be okay if she lived her life for sure. I think it's
So
this concept.
you wouldn't assign her a job to
No, for sure, no.
save the world or make it a better place or
It would just be I just would want her to live like through her heart, like authentically, what she wants to do.
independent of whether it has value or not.
Yeah, like it
Okay. So do you see the difference though between the way you're thinking about her and the way you're thinking about yourself?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do. I think, and I really feel like I'm at the beginning of that road right now, because
What
the
road
stuff
is
that I
that?
want, this not assigning, like, it does, success isn't because I've done stuff. You see what I mean? It's
I do,
just,
but you still have the same notion. You've just changed the subject of success.
um,
It's a different target. It's exactly the same thought process. You said it though. You
right.
said, if I live my life, I want to make sure I do certain things. It's not quite a checklist, but it's, and remember saying that?
Yeah, I do. I think so. I mean, I guess I'm a bit,
Well, come on, we're thinking it through together,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it may turn out you don't agree with yourself. So don't try to defend
Yeah,
um, what you're hearing yourself say.
fair enough.
Because it does sound a little crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's, I guess the only thing I'll add is that it's, for me, it's the concept of dharma, that we have a, oh,
Sorry, I
right.
froze.
Oh, sorry.
Let me describe it in relationship to why it would sound crazy. My daughter can live her life the way she wants, but I can't. I've got to make sure that by the time I die, I do several things that are, before it used to be big success. Now maybe it's little success. But
Mm,
the fact of the matter is, I've really got to do it, but she doesn't.
yeah. And when I just want to clarify, I don't mean like to do actual things, as in like I have to, I don't know,
I know, I know, I know.
or that like the relationships are fulfilling, or that I've, yeah, I guess contributed in some way. But I hear what you're saying. I think it's true that I'm just changing
Target.
yeah, the target. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
thought process.
Yeah.
You have a job to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is the job connected with making up for you're not enough, or is it something else? By the way, is your daughter enough?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
all right. So there's a difference there.
Yeah. No, she's fine. Yeah, it's only the double standard is only to myself.
Okay.
Um,
But I want to let you know what I'm working on in
yeah.
relationship to this is we see the action, and is it motivated by compensating for your belief about yourself,
Mhm.
or is it motivated by something else?
So I think it's motivated more by this other concept which we've touched on, which
Yeah,
is this, that I have, that it's about dharma, like this, that we come here for a reason.
yeah.
And so it's no, like, otherwise, because I'm like, well, what's the point? Why are we
So
here?
what do you have an answer for that question?
But what's the point? Why are we here?
Yeah, do you know why we're here? It's a really simple
Um,
question. Do you
no, I
actually know
no.
why we're here?
Well, this no. Well, I think we're here to. I
I'm
think
not asking you if you have a theory of why
no.
we're
I
here.
don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so the theory proposes an explanation of something we actually don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Indeed. And so I think that this notion of looking, working backwards is based on that more than I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough, or
Yeah,
I,
right. But you have to justify your existence by good deeds.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But your daughter doesn't.
No, she's okay. No one else has to. They should do what they need to do.
Just you.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like, yeah, it's in the cold light of day. It sounds bizarre, doesn't it?
A lot of concepts do, because they're not steeped in reality.
Yeah,
In reality, we have no idea why we're here.
yeah,
In reality, we make up things, of course,
yeah.
usually within belief systems the reason you're here is to fulfill the belief, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. We lived through that. Yeah.
I knew a fruitarian once.
Hmm.
Actually, all he ate was fruit.
Right.
This was, of course, when I was a musician living in California. And he was the sweetest guy. He was the bass player in our band.
Oh,
But he said, I don't know what anything else is about, but I do know that humans' mission in life is to eat fruit.
oh wow.
He actually said that.
Bless him.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Oh,
just saying every belief system has an explanation of why we're
yeah.
here, and it's to be consistent with the belief. Now, see, in your case, you have good values and just things you want to do,
Hmm.
but then you assign a role for them, a meaning for them, a job for them.
Yeah.
To justify your existence.
Yeah. That's true.
Mm.
Yeah.
How would they justify your existence? Let's just think it through. Let's say you did something really good. Let's say you found the cure for cancer. Would that justify your existence?
I think so.
It would.
Yeah, because
It would
I
make it
would
okay that you were here.
yeah, that I would have helped others. I would have.
No, I mean, there's a good thing that would come out of it, but how does it justify your existence any more than the cancer patient?
Yeah.
Like, would your existence be more important than the cancer patient?
No.
Okay,
No.
so how would it justify your existence? I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good thing to do. It's not my question. It's a different question I have.
How to justify? Yeah. How would it
That you
justify?
exist, you know?
I guess I know. Like really, when I think about it rationally, it wouldn't. But I
When you
think in
say
my head, I think
rationally,
it
does
would.
that mean in light of reality?
Yes, in light of reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't make my life more valuable than someone else's.
Okay, is there any way you could justify your existence? Win the lottery?
No, yeah, that wouldn't pass the test. Unless I
No, but
donate.
what you would do with the money would, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I want, then I donate
Right,
it. I
of
guess,
course.
yeah, yeah. I guess it. Yeah, I guess I feel like I need to,
Okay.
yeah, justify my existence somehow. Do something that's worth
Well,
existing.
yeah, but think about this from this point of view. Is there anything in life you have to do?
No, I guess, yeah. There's no. It's. We're
Do
lucky.
you see the implication of that, though? There's nothing you have to do.
Mm.
What would the implication be in your life?
It's very freeing. I think it would be like friends. Like right now, like it feels very freeing just even just thinking about it. Because right now, for instance, I'm moving to a whole different set of interests, like things that I've wanted to pursue a very long time, that are much more related to the intuitive world. Right. And so I'm really sort of focused on that. And then I guess, and I'm just what was interesting is, so this is because I'm doing it just for personal interest and knowledge and just self-awareness, whatever. But then I'm like, oh well, should I be trying to, should I be developing this further so I can help people with it? Because then it will.
No, I understand that you would be looking for a rationale why it's okay to do what you actually want to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's that's what it feels like. I was like, where is it?
It's okay to do it's okay to follow my interests because it's good for mankind.
Yeah. Yeah. Or that, that there'll be some income out of at the end. It feels like, yeah, it can't just be for the pleasure of being. And I've just been at that cusp where I'm like, oh, hold on, is this too much self-indulgence? Like, am I just, getting focused, because I'm just doing it for the love of it, as opposed to anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the question. Is there anything you have to do?
No.
Can you say that a couple of times? Just kind of teach it to yourself.
It's very hard to say, but there's nothing.
Why is it hard to say, given you see that it's true?
Yeah, because it's such a relief when I say it.
Besides that, independent of the experience you have, the question is it true? And if it's true, can you teach it to yourself because it's true?
Right.
Not because it's a a new concept to impose on the old concepts, but just
Yeah.
because you see, you can see
Yeah.
that it's true. One way you can see that it's true is because it's certainly true of your daughter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's nothing I have to do, right? There's nothing I have to do. There's nothing I have to do. It's yeah, it's
I'm sure your mind is sort of generating a lot of things that you're
yeah, you
supposed
can see that,
to do.
right? And I'm like
Like, what do you have to do? What does your mind say? You have to do this, you have to do that. What is it that you have to do?
always some yeah, because I think my mind is always like you have to do. So you're here like, well, hang on, there's nothing I have to do. And it's like it's kind of it's not fighting me, but it's a bit like, hang on, what's going on?
Well, it is fighting. Your concept is holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
So the closer you get to it, the more it automatically resists it. It's almost like a survival instinct for the concept.
Right.
But when you hold the concept up to scrutiny, which means up to reality, it doesn't stand up to scrutiny.
Yeah. And I can always use the comparing it with for my daughter. That's like for me.
Yes, well, she's a good example of where you understand the reality rather than the concept.
Correct.
Yeah. So you grew up in a culture where you had dharma, you had to accomplish things and so on and so on and so on and so on, which is almost like all of us, by the way, in different versions of that.
Yeah.
But the reality is there's nothing you have to do. And also, by the way, the reality is that there's a lot of things you want to do. And they may have absolutely no extracurricular meaning whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like, you say that a few more times to yourself.
That there's nothing I have to do.
Is that true or not true?
This is true. It's
Okay.
nothing. It's true that there's nothing I have to do.
Yeah.
And actually, I just want to repeat that I can do things without having any extracurricular meaning. Like, I think that's like, I can just do things for the love of doing things.
Well, can you?
Well, I can and I can't, and I can choose, right?
Well, given there's nothing you have to do, how could anything you do be something you have to do?
Yeah, that I don't even have to do. Those things. There's nothing I have to do.
How much do you see that in reality, independent of your pattern up to this point?
So what do you mean? Like, how do I?
How much do you see that? How true do you see that is, independent of your?
Yeah, I mean, in general, like I could see it. Like I can see for other people for sure. Like,
yeah, but about yourself.
Yeah, and I see it. Yeah, because it's free will. Like, I don't have to do anything.
If you look at your life, understanding that, what's it look like?
Those are freer. It feels like just like a different compass almost, right? Like it's just.
And is it possible for you to justify your existence by good deeds or any other way?
I guess not. No.
Okay, so you can't justify your existence, and there's nothing you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's this concept. I don't have to justify my existence, and I can't justify my existence. It's like, oh, that's also very freeing. That I don't.
Well, if you're trying to do something that's impossible to do, it's not going to work very well.
Yeah. Bottomless pit. Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean, in reality, you exist.
Yeah.
We don't know what life's about, the meaning of life, what it's all about.
Yeah.
Independent of what everybody claims it is, for this or for that.
Yeah.
We just don't know. And there's nothing we have to do. And there are things we want to do, but we're doing them not because we have to, but because we want to.
Yeah.
And along with that, of course, there's secondary choices to primary choices, you know. In other words, sometimes you do things you don't want to do on behalf of something you do want, but that's not forcing yourself into obligation. That's just simply strategic choices.
Yeah.
Is there anything your husband has to do?
Take out the garbage. No, only what he doesn't have to do anything. It's just what he wants to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys work it out and so on, the logistics, but
yeah, like
it isn't like a law contract or something, a legal contract. Okay, I'll do this, you do that.
No. Yeah, and he's very supportive of me doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah, good. That's nice.
Yeah.
So, are we done? I mean, do you think there's more to do here?
I mean, I think we've.
I want to look at your pattern again for a second. So, this is all you moving in that direction. But now imagine that as you doing all this, you're applying and things are going well and so on, and you're doing a great job. It has the role of making up for what inadequacies you think you have and justifying your existence. So it's okay for you to be here.
Right.
I don't know if you have any recognition of that thought while this is going on here. You're getting, you worked hard and you got good results.
In terms of the justifying.
Actually, it's more than that. You usually get great results.
Yeah.
At that point.
I don't think I don't think it registers, perhaps at the desire point, but even then, it's very latent, like it's really deep. I don't know how to describe it, but it's not something
that
would
not necessarily be something consciously in the top of your mind, but it would be a subtext kind of thing.
Right.
I'm okay because I'm doing a great job.
Yeah. And I guess, yeah.
So then when it goes wrong, besides the fact that it's gone wrong and you feel disappointment and so on and so on, is it that you also feel like you let the side down and, you're not living up to your mission in life and so on and so on?
It depends on, so if it goes wrong, it doesn't, if it's professional, I don't feel that way because I don't think that that's justifying my existence per se. It's more like for my own feeling good, I'm good enough. If it's maybe other personal things that go wrong that are more like true life goals, that kind of thing, then I would feel that
things you take more seriously.
Then I think I would, because it feels like like a barrier. Like, how am I supposed to reach all the things that I'm supposed to do if this block is in the way? And I guess that in terms of you asking if there's anything else or it's, I think, just wanted to understand, like, because there's like that point where something goes wrong, right? So, I guess is it about me? I guess how to I don't know how to describe it, but is it how do I try, since we know this is the formation, the pattern, the oscillating structure, I guess. there a way to, is it to focus? Like, is it?
You're trying to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, it's because it takes a, like, yeah, I mean, I imagine
Right.
it's a bit soul destroying. It feels very soul destroying when that happens, because it really knocks me back usually.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the structure that you're in, we have the dynamic urge is your aspirations and values, and then there's reality, and then there's the concepts.
Right.
And these together form a unit, which I call a causal set, which then has a reciprocal cycle, which I call the reciprocal equilibrium cycle.
Mhm.
Because what's going on is these different elements are trying to create equilibrium. And since they can't, sometimes you'll be more here and sometimes you'll be more there. That creates the oscillation. It's like the two rubber band things.
Mhm.
And if we get rid of the rubber band here, if we get rid of, when I say get rid of concepts, I mean they're no longer in the structure.
I see.
They're no longer, it doesn't mean you don't still maybe think them, but it's irrelevant what you think about them. Then what you're left with is structural tension. Where you basically have desire and result. In reality. And then you take actions to have it come into place. It's a simple tension resolution system. And this tension wants to resolve so the desired state and the actual state are the same. So that's what happens when you're actually in reality. You don't have to fight against your concepts. You just have to stay in reality. And what is reality?
I don't have to, sorry, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, is that true?
Nothing I have to do, yeah.
However you say it, is it true?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's still true, yeah.
Yeah, well, when you hear yourself say, well, I've got to do this and because I need to really create meaning and create value and create dharma, pay off on my dharma.
Yeah.
Get back into reality.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The cold light of reality. Yeah. Okay. And in this case, my concepts are both that I have to justify my existence and that I'm not good enough and all those things we were discussing.
Yeah, and reality is you can't justify your existence and it doesn't matter what you think about yourself. Does
Right.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, truly, yeah.
Hmm.
Just, yeah, focus on, okay.
Think about when you're a kid and you experience colorism, which is, prejudice against darker skin. The subtext of that was it does matter what you think about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But no matter what you think about yourself, you want good things, right?
Yeah.
Good health, good relationships, good life, doing things that matter to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, so focus on that.
So how are you feeling right now? What's going on with you?
It's been very, very enlightening. Very, like, there was many things I did not see, like that I justified my existence. I know, and I thought I had some awareness of myself, and so that it's true that it's very deep that I have to justify my existence. So that, yeah, so I'm feeling like it's like, whoa, there's a lot that's
So, I mean, I know you'll feel disoriented. So besides disoriented.
But it's so there's part also a little bit of excitement. I'm a bit cynical, so it's like a little bit excited that, oh wow, I can try this out. Like, this is, that there's nothing I need to do. I don't have to justify this, so it's like, because it feels like an unlock in a way, like I could, like I feel like it also was very interesting to see
Are you saying that you sort of feel like you're out of prison? Is that?
little bit, yeah, like because I
Yeah.
felt imprisoned by this oscillating structure that you've
Yeah, right.
outlined, that which was also, by the way, very interesting for me. I'm sure everyone says it because it's. I thought when you were talking about, I thought that was everybody's steps. You know, when you at the beginning you were talking about, I was like, oh yeah. But I didn't realize that was particular to me. And then when I was like, oh wow, I was like, this is my structure, not everybody. And so yeah, it's like, yeah, because that also, I think that awareness, I'm excited about that, having that awareness, so that when, and just focusing on reality, I think that's probably what I'm taking, is just, this is the reality, this is what I want, and create the structural tension that way, the concepts to the side, because we talked about it. I don't have to justify my existence, there's nothing I have to do, what I think about myself doesn't matter. Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's like I'm gonna looking forward to wearing this and feeling, living it, because that's where I'm at, other than the disorientation that you're.
Well, aren't you living it now, though?
I think I am to some extent, but they're
extent
clearly
are you not?
Well, I think what I mean is that there's some concepts that I wasn't either aware of, or just how profound they've been in my life.
That's not my question.
Okay.
So you're thinking there may be other concepts that you're going to have to go find and kill.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Why do you have to do anything with this?
Maybe you've
say after me, there's nothing I have to do.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's nothing I have to do. Yeah, I guess.
Is it
but
true?
I think it is, I have to stay in reality, right? Is that
no, you don't have to stay in reality. You probably want to.
Yeah, I guess I think
probably want to, because that's where the action is. All creations happen in reality. They don't happen anywhere else.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's possibly that with this, the desire, I think there's a desire to stay in reality, because that's where it's gonna,
because it's real.
Yeah.
Reality is real.
Yeah.
That's why it's reality.
It's absolutely.
No, look. If in reality you don't have to do anything, that means whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking about now going and doing, you don't have to do, right?
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
It's not a point, it's a question to see if you agree with that. That's what reality.
I do agree with it. I think I've probably fallen back into the trap that I'm so accustomed to, in that I have to do something, right? If I don't do anything, then nothing happens.
Nothing has to happen, though.
Yeah. But it's.
But you see yourself fighting this?
It's not. I think it's. I think I'm just realizing how ingrained some of this stuff is. It
is, and yet, as you look at it in light of day, it turns out not to be true, right?
Yeah.
The concepts, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think we're done?
I think. Well, I thought we were, and then I just clearly all this stuff that. Yeah. I mean. You tell me.
I think we might be. I think your mind is still trying to grab onto and convert you back into, you have a job to do in life, and you're not free to do what you want. And there's nothing you have to do. There is something you have to do. You have to have progress. You have to move ahead. You have to, blah, 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 all the stuff that you would not impose on your daughter.
Can I ask you, Robert? So, there's some things, like, for instance, I help offer care for my mother. She's old. That's why I'm here now. So there's so much to literally do for her. Well, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done, and she suffers So I guess I'm trying to reconcile.
You don't have to do that. Why are you doing it? Because you love her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to support her and you want to help her.
Yeah.
You've taken what you want and turned it into an obligation.
I see. Yeah.
But it's not, it's truly a choice, and it's a very altruistic choice because you have to give up a lot of stuff in order to be able to support her.
Right. Okay.
But the reality is you're doing a really nice thing for your mother, not because you have to. And the truth of that is some people don't. They're in
Right.
similar situations and they don't do what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question. Doesn't it make it even better, given you don't have to do that?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, that it's not an
It's
obligation.
your act of love.
Right. Okay.
But isn't that true?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
see how you weren't even having the awareness of the meaning of your altruism, doing something for the sake of somebody else, independent of how it plays back for you.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're doing a very nice thing for her.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, it's not an obligation. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
So I do it for love. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. That makes it a lot. That's the reality. Yeah, thanks. That
It's a
helps.
reality. Yes, reality. It's real.
That's the
Real,
reality.
like real.
Yeah.
For people watching this, can you tell them what it was like going through the session with me?
Yeah, a little. I was a bit nervous, but it was, as I was mentioning before, it was very, very enlightening how quickly as well. Like how in a short period of time we went very deep. I thought, and covered a lot of ground. I think you were able to pinpoint each of things like concepts, the oscillating structure, very quickly, very profoundly. So it was, for me, it's been a very a very positive experience. I have to say thank you, Robert. I really appreciate your I'm very grateful for you. Yeah.
Great. Okay, stay on. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Bye.
Say goodbye to you.
Bye.
Stop it.